Okay, hello, my name's Kurt Lauder. I'll have to apologize, I won't be editing this video. There will be mistakes I make in it. I'm gonna speak with some statistics. If I get the statistic wrong, I apologize. Please double check anything I say statistically. But this is mostly about the story. The story of my travel to the Philippines and my shock and horror at learning at how unhealthy people are here. And you know, I'm a science teacher. I'm also a writer. I write about renewable energy. I've been retweeted by Elon Musk, the richest man in the world and perhaps the most important man in the world. He's imperfect. I don't like his politics, but his companies are amazing. And here's the first error of the video. I'm gonna spit out my gum. I'm also a businessman, but most importantly, I'm a humanitarian. I came to the Philippines to try to help. I wanted to try to help end poverty. I want to try to help improve the environmental issues that are going here, and I want to raise wages. And I'm trying to do this in an apolitical way. Sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I come across as too harsh, but basically I want to help people fish. I don't want to just give them money. I want to teach them how to get out of poverty, how to be healthy, how to make the environment better. I want to start with one story. You know, at the age of 4 years old, my mother, she's great. She took me to Hawaii, and it's one of my earliest memories. I got to drink coconut milk, and it was just amazing. It's funny because in my memory, I was drinking the coconut milk right from the coconut, but that's not how it is. Inside this coconut is coconut water, and I'm going to show you how to make coconut milk today. This is my grinder, and you probably can't see it, but over to the right is the coconut milk press. So in the Philippines, Filipinos, they're poor. So we can't ask them to go buy an electric vehicle. We can't ask them to put solar on their roof. There's a lot of things we can't ask them to do to reduce their carbon footprint. But one of the biggest things they can do is to drastically reduce their consumption of meat. Okay, meat is horrible for the environment. The United States hardly has any of its trees left because it cut them all down to send corn and soy to places like the Philippines to feed animals. And the Filipinos are eating an insane amount of meat. And they're doing this and they think it's their culture, but really it's not their culture. What it is the meat industry and also the pharmaceutical industry has convinced them that eating meat is good for their health. You see, 70 years ago, they ate meat for flavor, okay? They eat mostly vegetables. And now they are feasting. They are feasting on pigs. They are feasting on chickens. They are feasting on fish. And they're eating mostly rice and fried fish, rice and fried chicken, rice and lechon, which is barbecued pig. I'm just shocked. I went to Thailand, I went to Cambodia, I went to Laos, I've been to China, I've been to Japan. I've been all over Asia, and the food is far healthier than the Philippines. When I got here, I was just ignorant. I thought the food was gonna be healthy. And I went into shock and horror when I gained 15 pounds from eating the diet here, because there's literally nowhere in this city of Tagum where I'm at to find a healthy meal. So what I've done is I've tried to create a company. It's called Bell Movie Soup. The first thing we're making is a coconut soup. It has a bunch of veggies, and we'll get into the soup later. Right now, I want to talk about one of the biggest problems in the Philippines. This whole rice is life is the saying. Rice is being way overconsumed. It's causing diabetes. It's causing obesity and a number of other chronic diseases. And the problem is, Filipinos are going to work to abroad and they're sending all this money home, and the family members are just feasting. They're eating insane amounts of rice. They're eating insane amounts of meat, and they're not eating any vegetables. I see children with rotten teeth because when they go to their stores, which they call sari-saris, they're full of sugar. They're full of candy that has oil in it. And there's almost no vegetable. If there's any vegetable in the sari-sari, it's a potato because the potato has a long shelf life. It's an onion because the onion has a long shelf life. But there aren't fresh vegetables, there aren't frozen vegetables. They have freezers full of ice cream. And you know, these kids, they're going to these sari-saris and they're eating all this junk food, and they can't walk far enough to find a restaurant to get a healthy soup or to get a salad or to get a meal which has small amounts of meat and vegetables. So what we're working on is one of the other problems, this is the coconut, okay? This is called the tree of life. This is God's greatest creation. Or if you're not religious, it is just one of the healthiest fats you can get. And you could take the fat from the coconut and use it to flavor the vegetables. And that's what we do with our soup. And also, one of the things that just broke my heart when I came here, you hear this coconut water? This is a mature coconut, okay? It's fully grown. Inside it has what is called coconut meat. And that coconut meat is what we make the coconut milk out of, or what we call gata. And the gata is what we use to flavor the soup. We can use it in our bread. We can use it to put in our coffee instead of dairy milk, which is causing cancer and all kinds of issues and heart disease and just a number of chronic illnesses. So all over the world, coconut, that's okay, babe. This video is going to go long. I'm telling my wife in the background. I said I was going to do this in 5 minutes, but this is going to take what it's going to take because I'm a teacher and I have a master's degree in education, and I have been studying nutrition for 15 years now. And I've been losing this battle to the food companies that are lying to their consumers, that are funding the pseudoscience, which means false science. They are behind the keto diet, which is a scam. They are behind the Atkins diet, which is a scam. They are behind the carnivore diet, which is a scam. They are behind the paleo diet, which is a scam. Okay, we are supposed to eat small amounts of meat to not get sick. Okay, meat is rare. We don't find it in a natural environment when we are hunter-gatherers. All right, we are supposed to eat mostly vegetables, and if we're going to eat carbohydrates, we got to eat the good kind. Okay, and I'm talking about sweet potato. I'm talking about pumpkin or squash or calabaza. Moving back onto this, they are taking this coconut. Man, do I have a husk somewhere? Maybe I can send my wife off camera. Can you go see if you can't find me a coconut husk? And what they're doing is they take the coconut husk. It's this big, huge outside, and they burn the coconut husk. And inside this, when I cut this open, you'll see the meat. They burn the coconut husk, which puts a ton of pollution into the air, not just smoke, but carbon dioxide. And they're burning the meat, okay? And they burn the meat and they turn it into what's called copra, okay? And they sell copra. Almost all the coconut trees in the Philippines are being made to use copra. This is the coconut husk. It goes around the shell. And this coconut husk should be being put back into the soil, or it could be made into pots. It could be made into a number of things. But instead of this going back into the soil, it's being burnt to make coconut oil, which we call manteca. It's okay, babe, forget about the time. I'm just gonna finish this. This manteca, they are using it to fry chicken, which they call manok. And look, you don't need to fry chicken. You can steam it, you can boil it, you can grill it. It's much healthier. If you're gonna cook chicken, please do so. Please cook it in a healthy way. Do not fry it. You are wasting resources. To fry chicken in oil is just a complete waste of resource, and all it's gonna do is make you fat. And hey, look, I'm still fat. I'm trying to lose it. But I went from 135 kilos down to 92, and I'm on my way to 82 because I made health food from the coconut. And blessed is the fruit of the tree of life. Jumping back to my notes here for a minute. We just have to stop this production of manteca. All right, manteca is coconut oil. Like I said, they burn the husk, sending all the pollution into the air. And then the husk heats up the meat on the inside. And the reason why they heat up the meat is when they heat up the meat, then they can grind the copra, the burnt meat, which is full of smog and toxins. They can grind that and they can get more oil out of it. And the oil that comes out of it is this ugly, putrid, yellow oil. And this is what's causing extreme chronic diseases. It's causing heart disease, number one, the biggest killer. And there's something that's really near and dear to my heart. It's causing gout, which is a form of arthritis. And my wife's husband, or her father, he's had gout since he was 50. He's now 72. And I was in complete shock and horror when I went to visit him. His ankle is the size of a coconut. What happens is when you have gout, you get uric acid. It builds up in your blood vessels and it gets caught in your joints. Okay, it gets caught in the big toe, it gets caught in the ankle. His ankle is literally 3 times larger than it should be. his knees are swollen. There are days he can't walk. And I've met men all over this country who have gout. And it's mostly from eating too much meat, drinking too much sugar, and way too much manteca, the coconut oil. So we are going to try to, over time, reduce the production of manteca, and we're going to make more healthy uses of the coconut. So we use our coconut milk in soup. We put it in bread. We make a healthy coffee creamer. Instead of sugar, we take the coconut water out of here. You're going to see me bust this thing open, and there's going to be water that's coming out. A lot of people, when they want to get the sugar out of the water, what they do is they boil the water. Unfortunately, when you boil the water, you're actually causing a chemical change, and you're ruining the nutrition of the water. The water is full of magnesium, potassium. It's great, and it's sweet. And I don't know why all over the world people only like young coconut water. I like mature coconut water. Babe, could you please come in the camera for a second? I like mature coconut water, and I like mature women. This is my wife. She's 40 years old. Look at her. She's gorgeous. All right? She's a skinny Jennifer Lopez. All right? And it's because she takes care of herself. She takes care of her body. All right? She eats her vegetables. Thanks, babe. Sorry to pat her butt on film. All right? Sorry, guys. For those of you in the Philippines who think that's inappropriate, sorry. I'm not in your culture. I'm worldly. I have world culture. So yeah, we put our gata. We also put it, we're hoping to put it in a cereal soon. And I'm really excited about that. So what I'm going to do, hopefully I'm not going to hurt myself. This is really hard. I'm going to try to bust this open. I've seen it a lot of times, but I'm going to knock this thing with the thing. And if I can't do it, my wife's going to come in on camera and do it right for me. And there comes the coconut water. You can see it coming out. It's messy. We're going to strain this. And I'm supposed to hit the other side of it to break it open. So they are just pouring this water on the ground. When I saw them harvest their coconuts, it was just this huge muddy puddle. And I just cried because this is like one of the best parts of the coconut water. And just the opposite side, babe. Oh, man. I didn't do very good. It's okay. That's horrible. So we're going to have a hard time grinding this. I'm going to grind just a little bit of this to show you how it's ground. I'm not that good at splitting coconuts. I do mostly research, and I rely on friends and family to do this. But I'm going to flip on this grinder. And I've got my gloves. I'm going to be very careful. And then you grind the coconut. I've had the coconut shells ground up, but you see there the meat, it's ground. I'm not very good at grinding coconuts. My back is disabled. But you grind that out, and then we'll have a bunch of shredded coconut in there. And then later you'll see we'll make a separate video. It's gonna go into this milk press, and it's gonna squeeze it out, and we're gonna get coconut milk out of here. Am I in the frame, babe?
Yes.
Okay, so what we've gotta do, I mean, the healthiest way to use the coconut, hey, just shred the coconut. And you've got some shredded coconut. You can just take that. Is it in the frame, babe? You throw that on some lettuce, it's delicious. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Oh my God. It's so good. You can dehydrate it, and then you've got shredded coconut. I need to back up because I'm so tall, I'm out of the frame. So here, I'll just get a little more coconut. This is so delicious. And this is the best way to eat the coconut. You can sprinkle this on some lettuce, some spinach. You can mix it with other fruits. And the healthiest way is to use the coconut for flavor and replacement of meat and replacement of oil. Because you see there's oil in here, but it's locked inside fiber. Okay? And, oh my God. I love coconut so much. That's why, I don't know if I told you, but my nickname is Lubi. You see, before I was married to Annabelle, I had a previous wife, and we lived in Thailand. And when we would go to Thailand, we would buy stuff from like the 99-cent store. And this stuff might be $4 or $5 in Thailand. And in Thailand, they only make $10 a day. So if I give them a gift that's like worth $5 to them, they're super excited. And they want to give me a gift back. But hey, they're pretty poor in Thailand, just like they are in the Philippines. They're a little better off than people in the Philippines, but they're still quite poor. It's a third world developing country. And so if they wanted to bring me a gift, I said, hey, bring me a coconut. And you can see how bad I am at opening a coconut. When they open a coconut, they split it right down the center, okay? And hey, there's a good picture of the meat right there, all right? And you don't have to grind it. You could actually just eat the meat. But what they're doing is they're burning that meat. They're burning all that. And they're wasting all the fiber. And the body needs fiber. That's what helps move digestion. You've got 128 feet of intestine. And so anyhow, back to the Thailand. When they wanted to give me a gift back, I would just say, you know what? Please don't buy me anything. What I brought you, it wasn't that expensive to me. It was just $1, okay? It was a small thing for me. But what I'd ask them to do is bring me a coconut and open it, because I'm not very good at opening it. And give me some of the water. And, oh, there we go. Annabelle's holding the camera. That's my fault. I bought a cheap tripod. So they would bring me the coconut. And then in Thailand, nobody can say Kurt. They can't pronounce it. It comes out of the K. So I had to pick a nickname, and I chose Maprao because I love coconuts. And when I came to Philippines, I used the word here and the Visayan language, which is Lubi. And hey, like I got Kobe Bryant's jersey on, so I'm kind of like Lubi Bryant. That's my joke anyhow. But look, I'm here in the Philippines. I'm working hopefully with the Philippine Coconut Authority and the DTI to make some health food products, because there's nowhere for the kids to go and get something healthy. There's nowhere for the adults to go and get something healthy. If they can find a healthy soup, it's got too much salt in it. If they can find a dish with lots of vegetables, it's fried in that manteca. So literally the only healthy way to eat in the Philippines, at least the part that I'm in, and many of the places I've been to, is to cook at home. And everyone's like, just cook at home. And I'm like, dude, I'm disabled. I have a bad back. I'd like to have something delivered on Food Panda every once in a while. I'd like to go out to dinner and just have something prepared for me that I can count on to be a healthy meal. That I won't gain weight, that I won't get heart disease, that I won't get cancer, that I won't get diabetes, that I won't get hypertension, that I won't get gout, that I won't get arthritis, that I won't get skin cancer. My mom's dying of skin cancer right now. And one of the reasons why she's dying of skin cancer is because she lives in America where the food companies just force us to eat shit, man. We eat food-like substances. We need to get back to eating foods. I encourage you, if you can, to look up the free documentary Forks Over Knives, and also to look up the China study. And hey, if you're not a nerd like me and you're not into difficult scientific explanations, let's just go back to what our great-grandparents were doing 70 years ago. It's not hard. Eat your vegetables, eat your fruits, don't fry your meat, use meat for flavor, don't use white flour, have an egg or two a week, okay? There's lots of bad science out there telling you eggs are good for this. There's science out there telling you chocolate's good for this and coffee's good for that. You know who's paying for that science? The companies who sell those products. If you see a product in the supermarket with a health claim, where it says, oh, it's high in omega, oh, it's high in this vitamin, be careful, because it's probably just sugar and oil, and they threw half a cent or half a peso of vitamins in it, okay? If you want to eat healthy food from your supermarket, this little tip will help you. It's in the refrigerator, okay? All that stuff on the shelf is full of sugar, flour, oil. It's processed food-like substances. It's not even food, okay? Food is plants. Food is healthy grown meats. And look, if you can, please, like, be mindful of the type of meat you eat. What is the livestock, the pig, the chicken, the fish that you're eating, what have they ate? Are they just eating feeds that are corn and soy? Are they just stuck in some tiny little container being forced to eat junk food? Are they eating food off the ground where they poop? You know, what they have to do to animals now so that they grow fast, they have to give them antibiotics. Because they get so sick, because they're not eating a variety of fruits and vegetables and wild things. And if they're omnivores, they're not getting meat and insects. They're just getting corn and soy and some supplements. And that's not a healthy animal to eat. And that's no way to treat an animal. They have a nervous system. Look, I'm not vegan, all right? I got no problem. I haven't done it yet, but eventually I'm gonna get one of those free-range chickens. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna break its neck quick, and I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you for your food. I'm gonna be like the Native American and say a little prayer. And then I'm gonna pluck it and I'm gonna eat it, you know? When I eat meat, I don't always do it. Sometimes I just eat what's there. But my goal is when I eat meat, I wanna eat a fish from the ocean that had a good life. I wanna eat, if I'm gonna eat a pig, I want one that's run around a bit. You know, not one that's just sitting in a pen. If I'm gonna eat a chicken, I don't want one that's in a big hen house. You see, in the industrial chickens, the feed houses that these things are in, there's like hundreds of thousands of chicken, and they're bred, okay? They've been designed. They are so big and so fat, they have fractures in their legs, and they all walk around pecking each other. So you know what they do to the chickens when they're babies? They clip their beak off. They clip their beak off because they're so close to each other, they're constantly biting each other. And when they constantly bite each other, that leads to infection. And when they get infection, they grow slower, okay? These chickens, they're growing from a tiny size to this huge, ginormous size, and they're feeding them this junk food, and they're giving them hormones, and they're giving them antibiotics, because if they don't get them antibiotics, they'll just be sick. And they're walking around in their own shit, and when their shit dries, it turns to dust, and then they breathe it in, and then it's like shards of shit in their fucking lungs, bro. And I'm sorry to curse, but I'm American, and that's wrong, all right? We need a better food system. We need to get back to eating more vegetables. We need to use meat for flavor. We need to throw the white flour away. We need to get rid of the sugar, okay? One of the things I like to do, if I'm gonna eat some greens, say I'm gonna have a little bit of spinach, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of apple with it. It's not hard. You don't have to put a bunch of ranch dressing on your greens. You can just eat it with apple, or try some hummus or some bee dip. Anyhow, we're gonna make another video, hopefully better. I'm gonna show you real quick. We've got the coconut water here, and we're just gonna strain this. We'll end up straining it a couple times. And what I'll do with this coconut water, I'm gonna freeze it. And when you freeze it, that's just a physical change. It's not a chemical change like when you heat it up. And when you freeze it, then you let it thaw. And what melts first is the sugar, because the sugar has a lower boiling point. So sometimes we concentrate a little bit of sugar out of our water, and we'll throw that in our bread, and we'll throw that in our soup, and we'll throw that in our cereal. So we just have a hint of sweetness. But it's a much more natural, healthy sweetness, and it's just minuscule compared to what we're doing. So, hey, look, I'm putting this thing up on the web. I don't have all the time to make a perfect video. I don't have the resources, but it's time for us to be personally responsible and eat better, and it's time to demand corporate responsibility from these companies. And these companies, they're lying, they're killing people. Hey, let's be frank about it. They're torturing people. You know what a bypass is? A heart bypass surgery? A heart bypass is when your artery to your heart, the biggest blood vessel in your body, where all the blood comes pumping out of your heart, it gets so clogged from the oil and the meat. They gotta break your rib cage open. Break it open. Then, they gotta slice your whole leg open. And they gotta take an artery out of your leg and sew it in to the part of your artery that's clogged. So basically they're taking a pipe from your leg and replacing a clogged pipe in your heart. And that's called a heart bypass. You ever heard of a heart bypass? There's 500,000 of those in America. And that's why Americans live longer than Filipinos. But what's going to happen, the Filipinos are going to get money, all right? Their children are going to go overseas and they're going to send money back home. And dad's going to have a heart attack. And then that child, instead of getting to have a life of their own, is going to have to send money back for heart bypasses. It's brutal torture. Hey, and it gives you a few more years. But man, to recover from having your rib cage broken up, I had a bruised rib. I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. That's actually what started me on this health quest. You know, I bruised my rib and it hurt so bad. I couldn't walk to 7-Eleven. I couldn't drive to 7-Eleven. For the first time in my life, I quit sugar. Quit sugar for like 4 months and I lost a ton of weight. So look, I hope you follow our channels. I hope you follow the sources that I share with you. I hope you take our open source recipes, make them different, make them better, or leave them the same. We're gonna give you the business plan on how to make our food products. You know, a lot of our recipes, we kind of like took little bits and pieces from other free recipes. We used ChatGPT, which is artificial intelligence. And hey, our soup, our bread, our coffee creamer made of gata, they're all works in progress. They're not perfect, but they are the right combination of taste, health, they're good for the environment, and God willing, we're going to be able to create a company or a nonprofit or some type of entity that pays people living wages. Because if you're a company and you don't care about the environment and you don't care about health and you don't care about living wages, you don't deserve to exist. You need to be better. All right? You need to be better. Now, hey, it's not easy. And I'm not saying doing it overnight. And hey, look, if I'm sounding over the top, I'm sorry if I'm being strict, because we live in a capitalistic world society and people got to make money. But baby steps, one step at a time. Let's go. Let's make healthier food. Let's make wiser choices. And let's tell people to be responsible in a kind way. And, you know, I'm praying to God that I can find a kind way. But it's been hard because I've been losing this battle against these companies and against the public that buys their products. And as a person, I'm a hypocrite, you know? I love pizza, I love ice cream, I love a hamburger. But sometimes I go months and months eating clean. And it's really hard to eat clean when I lived in Texas. And it's impossible to eat clean here in the Philippines. So I just hope that my wife Belle and myself Luby, I hope Belle and Luby inspires people. I don't know that we're going to be any more than a small part of a movement, but we're going to try our best, and we're going to give everything we've got to provide children with healthy food so their teeth don't rot, to provide healthy food to parents so they don't have to squander their children's resources and time. And I don't think people should say, this is my culture. It's a cop-out. It's lazy. Find a way to eat healthy. And if you have a sick family member, for goodness sake, don't eat unhealthy food in front of them. Don't expect them to just sit there and eat healthy food all on their own. It's hard. We're social creatures. We eat together. We eat communally. Band together with your friends. Band together with your family. And eat clean. And eat organic. And, well, you may not be able to afford organic, so that's fine. That's a different topic. But vegetables aren't expensive. They aren't hard to get. And I see people wasting money on pizza and ice cream, and I've done it myself. And I see them spend hordes and hordes of money on barbecue and fried chicken. Let's make a revolution, because I tell you this, 85% of our healthcare costs are completely avoidable. The United States if it goes bankrupt and it fails and it becomes a dead empire, it won't be because China became bigger and more powerful. It'll be because we spent all our money treating chronic diseases that were easily prevented by people just eating more vegetables, not eating oil. Hey, it just like pretty much cut dairy out. Because look, you could say have dairy in moderation. There are very few people who could have dairy in moderation. And you know, we can make dairy replacement out of coconut. So let's switch the creation of manteca, that putrid oil. Let's switch that to gata, to coconut milk. And what we do is we take our coconut milk, we put it back with the water, we add more water, we basically water it down, and what we make is we make a milk substitute for milk that instead of it being 150 calories like the powdered milk, it's like 50 to 60 calories. And the powdered milk, it's really just skim milk with oil and sugar added to it. They really ought to call it oil and sugar with powdered milk. Oil and sugar with dehydrated skim milk. It's not really milk. If you're drinking powdered milk, you're addicted to oil and sugar. And that skim milk that's in there, that's the leftover basura from the United States. Because when we take the whole milk, we take the fat out for our cheese, we take the fat out for our ice cream, we take the fat out for our yogurt, we take the fat out for all the delicious dairy products. And then what's left over is skim milk. And we have way more of that than we need. To us, it's just trash. But what we do is we dehydrate it, we put it on a ship, we send it over here, we mix it with some oil and some sugar, and we say, hey, this is gonna give you strong bones. Hey, this is gonna give you calcium. Hey, this has got vitamins. But really, it's a drug. You know, powdered milk is a drug. And the people who make powdered milk are making a mistake. And look, I don't want to demonize them. I just want them, I want to prove to them that there's a market for health foods so that they take our recipes and do it better than us. Look, they know how to build factories. They're way smarter than me. So please, step it up, make something healthy, and let's switch this. Let's do this gradually, because hey, I get it. You guys got to make a buck. You know, if people don't have jobs, if there aren't corporations, the world doesn't go around. And you know, we have homes and we have cars and we have all these luxuries because we have these corporations that make stuff efficiently. But it's time for them to get into conscious capitalism. Thank you.